Hello everyone, we're glad that we can continue the fight this year at Last Stand 2 2024. We got lots of new mechanics and revamped game rules that we'll be happy to share with you in these following videos. The idea with the Last Stand event is that every year we add new gameplay mechanics to keep the gameplay fresh and also change things up a little. That being said, we'll now go into some of the updates. So for this event, we added 4 special locations. The special locations will be marked with a red tent, so you can clearly identify that they are special locations and different from your standard flag point tents. The first one is the market. The market is now a neutral zone and it's also a playable area, so you can engage within the market. The market's main purpose is for you to find special items such as extra supplies, different props, or other side objective items. The 3 other special location areas have similar kind of effect, but they also do a little bit of other things independently of each other. The first one is the Firebase. The Firebase grants you artillery strikes over a period of time. The second is the airport that allows you to transport troops around the map, again, during a period of time. And the third one is the factory. The factory produces special items for your team to use during the event. All 3 of these bases are marked on the map, and also they require at least 4 players to occupy them so that you get the benefits that these point allows you. So now we're going to cover the vehicle rules. So for this event, we've significantly changed the way vehicles work based on your player feedback and also for gameplay balance and also safety. So everything that you see is going to be completely different from the past. This is the most current. So first of all, we're going to talk about vehicle setup. So behind me, the first thing is all vehicles will be marked and identified with your team colors. This one, as you can see, is marked with a red tape triangle, and it'll be marked on all 4 sides. So this is marked as an admin vehicle. So you have one in the front, you have one on the side, and then you'll have one on the rear to mark that this is your team vehicle. The markings will be provided by the admin when you sign up and register for your vehicle during the check-in process. Secondly, the trunk can be opened. However, if you have a canopy, let's say for this truck, the canopy windows have to be fully closed. The cabin windows have also need to be fully closed. If your vehicle is, let's say, a side-by-side or a vehicle without doors or windows, you can put netting on either side of the cabin. And then back here on the front has to be a hard material, so either plexiglass, some sort of hard plastic. It cannot be netting for those side-by-side type vehicles. It has to be something that's hard. For obviously your standard trucks and SUVs, your standard glass window will suffice. So that is roughly what your vehicle should be set up as in this configuration. We do allow the addition of turrets, but please check the rule book for specific specifications for turret shielding, turret height, and the setup for turrets. So now we're going to cover engagements from vehicles. So the first thing is, as you noted earlier, the windows for the cabin are up. So if you're in the actual vehicle cabin, you cannot engage from inside. As you can see on the back, so if you have a truck or SUV, the back panel also needs to be covered either with some sort of hard covering or netting. So the entire cabin is protected from fire. That also means you cannot shoot from inside the cabin. The 2 engagement areas that you can shoot out from a vehicle, the first one is the trunk or the bed. So if you have an SUV or a truck, anywhere on the rear, the gate has to be fully down, and if you have some sort of covering, or if it's an SUV, the trunk has to be all the way up. So in this configuration, as you can see with the player here, you can fully engage from the vehicle to any rearward targets. If you have a truck that does not have a canopy and just an open bed, you can engage basically almost a 180 degree from the inside. What you cannot do, however, is if the player is tucked inside, and the trunk is covered. So this you cannot do because this is extra covering. The trunk rear has to be fully open for you to engage. Again, with it open, you can be anywhere inside. Second, for turrets, again, turret specifications are in the rule book. We allow one person per turret. So you have 2 turrets, 2 people up there. If you have 1 turret, 1 person up there, you cannot have multiple people on 1 turret. And the second thing is if you're up on the turret, you need to wear full face protection. If you don't have full face protection, then you're unfortunately not allowed to be on the turret. As we'll cover throughout this video, when we engage vehicles, one of the main things is going to be a paintball being launched from a launcher. So for full face protection, that's for your safety. But if you're in the back, standard eye pro minimum, but full face protection, highly recommended. So now we're going to cover hits to passengers and drivers. So the first thing we're going to cover is passengers. So if this player is playing and he gets hit, he's going to announce hit, pull out his dead rag to show that everyone's hit. He'll follow the same revive rules as other players. Specific details are in the rule book, but in short, he's going to show that he's hit, starts the 5-minute minimum bleed out time. So if he's just here by himself, he has to wait 5 minutes minimum before he can either walk back to a respawn or take a ride back in the vehicle. Maximum is 10 minutes. So he is currently hit. He's currently doing the bleed out. Assuming I am another passenger that's still alive, I can hand him or help him use his water. Again, if you're hit, you cannot use your own water. Someone has to help you. So if I'm the other player, I'm still alive, I'll give him the revive kit in terms of the water bottle. He's gonna drink it, and then he is now back in play. If the vehicle is up and running, it can take both dead and alive players. It can also transport other equipment as well. If the vehicle is fully destroyed, then it can only transport dead players. If you decide to walk to your own respawn or deploy off from the vehicle, you have to make sure that the vehicle is fully stopped before you exit or enter a vehicle. That is for your safety. Second, hits to drivers. If the driver is hit, there is no bleed out. The vehicle and the driver are destroyed. So if you're the driver, try to stay in the vehicle. If you're hit, the vehicle's gone. But that is to cover the hits to passengers and drivers. So now we're going to cover how to destroy vehicles. One of the primary ways to destroy vehicles is with a 40mm grenade launcher. So the 40mm launcher has to be commercially sold like an actual product. They can either be standalone or they can be weapon mounted. We do not allow like DIY homemade launchers. It has to be commercially sold. For the launchers, no shower shells. They have to be a hollow shell, which we'll show you in a bit. And that's also in the rule book of how to set these up to shoot at vehicles. The paintballs will be provided and is part of the game. So if we catch you with your own paintballs, we're gonna have a little bit of an issue. For the vehicles, because we're launching paintballs, this is also why we recover that the front windshield to be a hard material so that the paintballs can impact. And this is also why if you're on the turret, you need full face protection in case you get hit. For paintballs, based on our testing, the ideal engagement distance is about 50 feet. That'll make sure that the impact of the ball will break on the windshield. Obviously, the range is a little bit further than that, about 80 to 100 feet, but there, the hits can be a little bit spotty. In order for the hits to count, the paintball has to break on the windshield itself so that the driver can see it. If it impacts the front hood or ricochets or doesn't break, it does not count as a hit. That being said, we'll now demonstrate how one of these launchers work. So now we're going to demonstrate how this works. So I have a multi-shot shell. So this is what they look like with the hollow opening. And it's already filled. You can follow our guide of how to set this up. Again, we do not permit the use of BB grenades or shooting this at players. It does not count as a hit. And don't do it. It's only for vehicles. So first thing, we'll load this as is into your standard launcher. So the windshield is the only weak spot on the vehicle. If you hit the front engine deck, bumper, or the side doors, or the mirrors, they do not count. It has to be a direct hit on the windshield. So once it's loaded, aim. So like that, dead center hit on the windshield, that counts as the vehicle is destroyed. So once the vehicle has been hit, as seen earlier, the vehicle is considered destroyed. There's many things that need to happen. If I'm the one engaging the vehicle, once I destroy the vehicle, I'm gonna radio either to my commander or my squad leader that I've destroyed the vehicle, so I can collect points for my team. Second, the driver inside with his radio, he's gonna radio his command and admin team that the vehicle is destroyed and that he's coming back to repair the vehicle back in its condition. The vehicle should have hazard lights on, and at minimum, the driver will put a kill rag on the driver's side. You can have additional kill rags on the other cabins if you have other players inside to help you, but a minimum of just one. So once you see the hazard lights and the kill rag, then you know that the vehicle is destroyed and stop engaging the vehicle. Destroy vehicles. All passengers inside the cabin and at the back are considered all dead. There is no revive for those players. All dead. So once the driver has radioed the admin that they're coming in to repair, he's gonna drive the vehicle to the admin area. During this trip, if players want to get off to walk to nearest respawn, they can do so. The driver just stops the vehicle and the players can get off. Once the vehicle has gone to the admin area, the hit will be recorded by the admins. We will clean the hit marker from the windshield or any other areas, and then the vehicle is considered back in the game. Even though the vehicle is repaired, any dead players inside are still dead. The vehicle still needs to drive any remaining players inside to the nearest respawn point for them to respawn. So another way against vehicles is the use of a yellow smoke grenade. So these ones, we will issue some at the beginning to both sides, but you can also find them on the field. But again, they're not for you to purchase and use, they will be provided, but you have to find them or produce them in the factory. So that's where the factory kind of comes in handy. So these are yellow smoke grenades. They work against vehicles and also for players. They basically simulate a gas smoke. So it'll be a really big one like this, marked in yellow. So the way this works, you pull the pin, you should deploy in front of the vehicle, roughly about 20 feet, so roughly about here. So once you throw it, the smoke starts coming. For vehicle drivers, if you see the smoke, you have to do a full stop. During the smoke, as it's basically pluming, the vehicle cannot move. So the vehicle is safe, it's not destroyed, but it kind of temporarily stops the vehicle from going anywhere. All passengers inside are considered safe. Any person outside, so other players, they either got to run or they are dead. If you're a player on the outside, you cannot board a vehicle while the smoke is going on. Again, if you are a player in the vehicle and you need to exit out the vehicle, you are considered dead. As long as you stay in the vehicle, you are perfectly safe. Once the smoke goes away, then the vehicle can move along on its way. But again, when the smoke is going, the vehicle has to be a full stop. If you're a passenger, just stay inside, don't exit unless you want to die and walk back. If you're a player outside, don't jump on the vehicle. This is for your safety. So a safety reminder, again, when the smoke is going on, when the vehicle comes to a full stop, it means full stop. So do not reverse, do not go forward, just don't move. But this is for safety reasons, because we don't want players on the outside being behind vehicles. We want to make sure that the driver can also see everyone because there's smoke going on. It blocks visibility, and also because we're anticipating much larger vehicles for this event. Some of the stuff it's hard in visibility. You add the smoke in there, it's very difficult to see. So come to a full stop, just don't move, don't reverse, don't do anything. Once the smoke goes away and you can see again as the driver, then you can move along on your way. So now we're going to cover the last few bits. So driving at night. So for the game, any game after 7 p.m. is considered a night engagement, even though it's still kind of bright out. So after 7 p.m., all the headlights have to be on as if you were driving at night so you can see. And then the last thing is the speed limit. Same, 15 kilometers, max speed limit. Drive your vehicles on the trails only. Try not to go off-roading because there's other players that might be hidden around. You can't see them. Again, it's for safety. So because we're anticipating much more players bringing their own vehicles for the event, just exercise caution when you're hitting intersections. So when you come up to intersections on the roads, just kind of fully stop. Like if you're at a stop sign, look around first before you make any turns, just so we don't have cars that might collide. So if you're driving, just exercise extreme caution. If you don't know or you can't see, if you have extra players that can kind of help you look for those locations, or if you just slowly advance through, that will work the best. But again, safety comes first, so very important. Just exercise caution, use your common sense when driving. But that's about it for the vehicles rules for this event. So a few other ways to kind of temporarily stop vehicles or to use against vehicles. We have vehicle barriers. They'll be marked in your team color. We'll give you a few at the very start of the event. If it's your team color, you can move and place those barriers anywhere. So you basically set the barrier down. If you're the opposing team and you come up to a barrier that is obviously the enemy barrier, anyone can move it. You can get your players to kind of just move it out of the way, but you cannot take the other team's barrier. The driver can also move the barrier on its own. However, if the driver is hit, there is no bleed out for the driver. If he's hit, the driver is dead, the vehicle is considered destroyed. So, you know, if there is some sort of barrier in a very suspicious location, maybe an ambush, you might want to think twice for your driver to get out to move the barrier. Your most likely easiest way is to get your players to move the barriers out of the way. A few other stuff that you can use against vehicles. There is the artillery strike. So if the vehicle is in an area that's designated as an artillery strike and it happens and the vehicle is still in the area, then the vehicle is considered destroyed along with everyone else. And again, if the driver is killed, then the vehicle is also destroyed. So keep your driver safe, inside, and happy. So this has just been a very quick overview of some of the rules and major changes that we made for this event. For very specific details, please check and read the rule book thoroughly. Drivers, make sure you're familiar with the vehicle rules and also squad leaders as well, because there will be some coordinating that you guys need to do. And also for proper vehicle setup and specifications, it's in the rules as well. If you have any sort of questions that's not really covered or you need any more clarification, please contact us, send us an email on the Last Stand event website, or just contact us on Facebook.
这样还会爆啊！我那个 angle 不是那么好，还会爆。
Yeah.